Welcome to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. We're here every Saturday to highlight local entrepreneurs and small business owners to hear how they succeed to build their business from the ground up, what were their challenges, and what are their victories. And the purpose of the show is also to put a voice to local business owners and entrepreneurs. So when you contact them for their services, you have an idea of who they are and who are you talking to. When you buy from one of our guests, you are buying from a local business. Jeanette, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm recovering from a flu.
Oh, yes.
So if my energy level is down, now you know why. So, and then my hip's hurting too. So, it just
so much going on.
yeah. It hasn't been a good. Well, I want to congratulate my daughter. My daughter just graduated from San Francisco State University. Oh, so yeah, big milestone for us. So,
and what's her major?
Communications, and then she will be.
Oh, look like Daddy.
Yeah, and then she'll be going back for a master's next year. So she'll have her master's by 20. I don't know what year we're in. So 2026.
Yeah, next.
Okay,
that's next year.
Yeah.
Oh, and what are her aspirations? I mean, with the communications degree, you can go a lot of different ways. But what is she looking at?
That's a great question. I would say she's probably looking. She does a lot of speech and debate. So that's what she really enjoys doing.
Newscaster, maybe?
Maybe, yeah. It could be like a reporter or something. I don't know. We haven't really talked about that. So, yeah, but she's going to be getting jobs here in the summer, and she's continuing to live in San Francisco. So she's
I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, I know. I got a story for you off the air, by the way.
Okay, all right. All the good stuff happens off the air, right?
Yeah. So. But we have E&F Services coming in today. We have Freddie Mojica, and we have
sweet.
And we have Eric Gallegos.
That's the partner, right?
That is the partner. So we're going to meet the partner today for the first time, business partner. Make that clear. Mm-hmm. And but Freddie, Freddie's got a lot of energy, and he did my driveway actually recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he pressure washed it, and he can. If I'm saying that wrong, he can correct me later, but. He pressure washed it, and I didn't know it could make that big a difference.
It looks brand new.
It does.
I mean, have you seen those TikTok videos with people that do power washing, and they'll go up to somebody's house, and it's like it just looks so dirty, and then they'll power wash the driveway, and it looks amazing. But he came to my house because I had it's so embarrassing. I had weeds growing out of my gutters, and I mean, he got up on my roof. He cleared out the gutters, and he found that two of my tiles, I have concrete tile roof, were cracked, and he actually fixed them for me. So, yeah. So, great guy.
Yeah.
And that's a nice thing, too. It's like a lot of the people that we have on the show, either we have used their services, and we like them, and professionalism, and this guy here, these guys are young. And I really like that. We've had some people that have been in business handed down through family, but someone has to start something sometime. And, it's great. These two young men. And so we'll talk about that. What made them decide on this, or did they just want to get into some business and then chose one? So. Yeah.
And I like the fact that they're young. So I was talking to Freddie before, he worked at Costco before, and I work at Winco still. So it's hard to make that transition from job to business.
You know what? It takes a lot of guts. I mean, that's the whole thing. If you ever read the book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or that book, and it says the minute someone goes back to their paycheck, they lose the entrepreneurship. Yeah. I mean, in a way, it's just getting that paycheck and it's safety, but taking that leap, because now it's up to you. You got to feed yourself. And there is no such thing as, I don't feel like going to work today. I mean, it's your business. The drive has to be there. And now you said power washing your driveway, and he did my gutter cleaning. I know that he does a lot of other things too.
Oh, yeah. So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. So he was on my roof too. He did my gutters also. He took the moss off my roof.
Oh, yeah, moss, that's a big thing.
Yeah. And, so, I mean, it just, it was I had a great experience, I don't really know what to say. Just
especially with insurance, because, that's what I do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well,
I've had homes that the companies won't insure because they have moss on the roof. And so that is something very important. If you're a realtor out there and you're selling the house, but it's got the moss on the north side of the roof, then you need to get someone to come out there. And you need someone that's a professional. I mean, they have to know what they're doing. You can't just get someone to go out there because they could ruin the roof.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so we can, and actually today we can learn more about Eric too, because this is the first time meeting Eric. I from what I understand, Eric is a law student at UC Berkeley.
Wow.
And,
I don't think he's up on the roofs then.
Yeah. Well, I have to clarify that. I might be wrong. So, but I know he's going to school, for business. He can kind of let us know what he's doing there. So I don't want to guess.
I know. And I mean, I know that they've been friends for a very long time. So I know that, Freddie's the one that's up there on the roof. And when you're a full-time student, as I understand, he might be doing the financial part, the bookkeeping, all of those things. So that's what makes a good partnership, when roles are clearly defined and they kind of work together. But, we've also heard horror stories with partnerships. So it's a tough thing. Communication, who does what. But that's interesting, because when you're young out there, you might have the ambition, but maybe you don't have some of those other things. And what you can't do yourself, you end up having to hire someone. And when you're new in business, hiring someone means money. So
yeah, exactly. So
and I'm also interested in, they clean solar panels. And, it's going to be a super, super hot summer. And if you have those solar panels for the electricity to run your air conditioning unit, I mean, it's, it's important to make sure you get all the power to your house that you can get.
Well, I think there's a little fabrication out there that you don't need to clean your solar panels, that rain, during the winter will clean it off. And that's actually not true.
No, you should see my neighbor's solar panels. Yeah. They're covered in dust. How much sun can they get?
Well, exactly. And then, if that was true, like if you think about your car, for instance, like when it's, because I've had, dirty cars, and when it rains, you're thinking, okay, it'll wash off. And then once it dries, it just looks worse because the dust is still there. It's like, dust gets caked on.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think you do have to have them professionally washed. I'm sure there's a certain way to do that, so we can kind of cover that too.
Exactly. I wouldn't be a homeowner, let's say, with solar panels and try to wash them myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, do you have solar panels?
No, the solar panels I have are to heat the water for my swimming pool.
Oh, okay. All right.
Do you know what? I'm still at that point where so many people are talking about solar panels and everything else. And I guess I'm just waiting for technology to get to the next step before I make the investment. I've seen so many horror stories about solar panels. But if you do have them, you want to make sure that, you keep them clean and that you get all the power that you were promised. Let's put it that way.
Well, it's an investment too. So you want to take care of your investment, especially, they always say your house is your biggest investment.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And
I would say so.
Yeah. And you want to take care of your big investments. So.
Except for those people with 6 very expensive cars and they're living in their mom's basement. It depends on what you invest in.
Yeah, exactly. So,
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I am too. So really quick, we have about a minute left. Anything in insurance going on? Like, how are things going really quick?
Well, you know what? One of the nice things is that Allstate actually announced that they're not going to be doing any home inspections this year. And I guess if your house was good enough last year, it's good enough this year, because there's so many insurance companies right now that because of home inspections, they're able to maybe cancel the homeowner's insurance. And California is still in that place where insurance companies, there's a lot of money in California.
Yeah.
But they don't really want to be here. The insurance companies would rather have the customers, but in a different state.
Yeah. Wow. So, well, you and I need to talk about homeowners insurance too. That's one of the things I need to talk to you off the air about.
Oh, so, off the air. Okay. Sounds good.
So anyway, coming up next, we have Freddie Mojica and Eric Gallegos, and they're going to kind of talk to us about cleaning solar panels, taking care of your roof.
Yeah, I want to hear all their services.
Yeah.
Because, he did something for you. He did something different for me. But solar panels, I understand, is a really big thing. And also, I'm kind of interested also in the personal story because, there's a lot of young people out there.
All right. So when we come back, we got Freddie Mojica and Eric Gallegos. You're listening to the Small Business Voice with Justin and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Stay with us. This is Justin Duncan from the Small Business Voice. And what does every small business need? A website. That's why the Small Business Voice used Sisbro Innovation to build its website. If you're a small business owner looking to grow your online presence, attract more customers, and actually see results, then you need to connect with Sisbro Innovation. They've been helping businesses thrive for over 10 years, offering affordable websites, SEO, Google Ads, social media marketing, and reputation management, all this without breaking the bank. They were also voted Best of 209 for digital marketing in 2024 as well. So if you're ready to take your business to the next level, reach out to Sisbro Innovation today and see what they can do for you. And tell them that Justin from the Small Business Voice sent you. Visit sisbroinnovation.com or call them at 1-800-291-9102. Connecting local businesses with local families. Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Reach out to us for more information about our featured guests by texting 209-222-8846, or you can always email me at smallbusinessvoicemedia@gmail. Actually, it's info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. And you can pull up any of our past shows on the iHeartRadio app. Just search and follow the Small Business Voice. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And my co-host Jeanette is a fellow small business owner. She owns an all-state agency at 2012 West Monte Vista Avenue in Turtle Rock, California. You can call Jeanette at 209-667-2222 or email Jeanette at JeanetteForni@allstate.com. So we have Eric Gallegos and Freddie Mojica in studio from E&F Services. This is the first time, Eric, we get to meet you. So I don't know if I said that right, but you are going to UC Berkeley?
I am, yes. I go to UC Berkeley for economics. It's my third year, so next year I'll graduate with my bachelor's. And then I plan on going to law school after.
Okay, so how young are you guys?
I am 28.
And you?
I am 27. I turned 28 in September. So he's older. He's older by a couple months.
And how long ago did the two of you decide to do something? I mean, Eric, give me the background.
So we kind of always had the idea to just start a business ourselves. We kind of just had that drive to do that. And I kind of just decided one day, I'm like, you know what, Freddie, why not start it, We don't really know too much, but sometimes, we just got to take that leap of faith and hope for the best. So in 2023, because I was going to community college out there. I was 1 year in, just staying with my parents.
That's in Bakersfield, right?
In Bakersfield, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I told Freddie, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go to Modesto or Riverbank, and then we'll just start something out. So that basically, I just took that leap, and then we just started going.
So was this your first idea, or were you looking at different things and seeing, what's profitable, what's needed out there, how much does it cost to get equipment, or was power washing the first thing you came up with, or?
So the first thing we came up with was solar panel cleaning. I realized, I kind of noticed that there wasn't really any people like cleaning solar panels. I didn't really see any. So I was like, you know what, Freddie? My parents had solar panels, and I was
I was going to say, your parents, and you're going like, how do we clean these things, right?
No one came to our house to maybe try to clean them. So I was like, you know what? There has to be a need for this.
Find a need and fill it. I mean, Isn't that mother of invention?
Exactly. That's entrepreneurship, right? You got to find the problem and you got to fix it.
Solar panels are expensive, and I mean, solar panels they're made out of glass, right? Are they?
Kind of.
I'm thinking they can break.
It's like a membrane. They can break, but it's kind of like a tempered glass membrane. So yeah, I guess in a way but not necessarily glass. It's like tempered glass. So it's not like legit glass, but it's a different form of it.
Because when I'm thinking about power washing, I mean, did you really go into finding out how do we clean them, right? You found that nobody was doing it. So where did you get your research and training and etc., not just running around with a power washer? Why should I hire you for solar panels? Let's put it that way.
Yeah, we did a lot of research with. Luckily, we have we saw other Facebook groups and stuff like that kind of already were in the business, and we kind of just took that as like our mentorship or like our training as well. And it's just the internet. The internet is such a vast
YouTube University. For sure.
There's so much information on the internet. Some of it isn't like necessarily always right, but there's so many resources on there. So many people you can connect with. So, I mean, that's just what we did to really get better.
So it's so interesting, that you came up with the idea, Eric, right? And you're going, we're going to do this, but I'm going to college. So that's when you need your buddy. Childhood friends, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we met in high school. I was 14, so 28, so it was 14 years. Wow.
Yeah, 14 years. We met our freshman, and like I said last time, we weren't really the bestest of friends at first. But I feel like that's always how the best stories start.
Oh yeah.
When you're not the best of friends at first.
And so, with your economics background and everything else in business, did you put together a business plan and say, this is what we're going to do? Was it all on paper, or did you go out and buy a power washer?
No, we just started. We started with our neighbors. Like it was like, hey, we're doing this. Like, you need something, and we started with what, like $25?
Yeah, $25 gutter cleanings, which we didn't know we were doing at the time. We were just trying to get our name out there. And like I said, Eric had a PayPal credit card, and he was like, "Hey, bro, I'll put the filters and the brushes on mine." Because I didn't have no capital. I was, I was working at Costco, barely making enough. And yeah, that's when.
And Eric, then basically you'll pay Eric back for all of that equipment. And are you making money yet?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, just enough to reinvest. And so technically, no, because we reinvest mostly everything and just pay the bills.
That's self-employment. Yeah. And then you get to a point where we've talked about this before, and now you need help. You have so many accounts, but you can't run around and do them all by yourself. And Eric is busy at Berkeley. So you're not any help. So have you had to hire someone also?
Oh, yeah, definitely. We want a big shout out to Sarah Suga. He's our full-time employee. After Eric, I think last year when he went to school, he was like, hey, bro, you're going to have to find somebody. He's like, I'm not going to. And I could do a lot of jobs myself, like the single stories and stuff like that.
But he came out to our house.
Yes, he did.
Yes, the two of you.
Which is E. We call him E as well, which is funny. He's E squared. So, no, he's been a big help, and, he's a great employee, and we wouldn't be able to do a lot without him. So he's also having a baby, so big shout out to him.
Oh, wow.
We're going to give him a little time off so he can baby bond as well.
Oh, so now it's all on you. Well. But wait a minute, Eric, are you going to be working this summer when you're off? Or?
So I'm more involved in making sure like the business growth or like business development. I'm be honest. I'm not going to go out there and
and I wouldn't want him to. Like straight up, I don't want him to, because he's better at that. And I don't mind that, because I don't mind being out and doing the hard labor.
All right.
You get what I'm saying?
So it is a perfect, partnership.
Yeah. So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan, Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeart Radio app. And you're listening to Freddie Mojica and Eric Gallegos, ENF Services. They can be reached at 209-315-4010, or you can email them at enfservicesllc.com. And they are on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at ENF Services.
Okay, so when you were talking about that, you do the marketing and things like this. I know that the way I met, of course, Freddie was through a networking group. And I loved his personality. You came that first time, and you guys were saying, we're new in business. Whose idea was it to go out there and find other business owners and find some way of connecting with them?
That's Freddie. Oh. Big shout out to Freddie. He gets that.
He's the personality.
Personality, definitely. Yeah. And this is something I have to work on. I'm not like I'm not like outgoing. I'm pretty reserved, but I've learned to, take certain traits that I see from Freddie and just,
and since you're young, I guess social media plays a big part in getting the word out. So you're on all social media?
We try to be. We're on LinkedIn as well. I forgot to mention that.
Okay, so all of them have the same name? Yeah. How would I find you on social media?
Just like that. Well, if you want my personal page, that's Freddie_Mojica. But ENF Services is always just at ENF Services.
With an A-N-D or an ampersand?
It's EANDF Services.
Okay, great. And now, what are all your services? Okay, you start off with cleaning solar panels. I know you did my gutters. You power washed
driveway.
Your driveway.
Yeah.
And so what else do you do?
So we do solar panel cleaning, gutter cleaning, window cleaning, bird proofing, which is another like subgenre, I guess, that goes with solar panels when we install the mesh around the panels so the pigeons or like squirrels don't get under. We also do house washing, which is just power washing, driveways, flat work.
Oh, wait a minute. You came to my office. You did my windows.
Oh, yeah, we did do your windows.
Oh, yeah.
And then we also do, in the wintertime, we do Christmas lights installation and leaf pickup.
Do you do free services? And the reason why I ask is because I remember, didn't you, there was a coffee shop that we met at downtown.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, is that just like a one-time thing, or is that
no?
something?
So we always offer that. I like to do that for businesses. We do free trials. So what it is for if you have an office and you have windows, we clean them for free. First time is always free, like I say. And that's just a way for us to show and build a relationship with that business and kind of be like, hey, this is our quality of work. This is what we provide. Now, you don't have to choose us, but if you do, this is what you get.
It's kind of like when you have a cookie shop giving away free samples, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I do want to get into, all of the things that are so important when cleaning solar panels, because it's going to be a hot summer. People are going to be using a lot of electricity.
Definitely.
And especially with air conditioning units going and everything else. And so I really want to talk to you about, you were talking about you wash your car, for example.
Yeah.
Well, I wash my car and then I drive from Linden down Jack Tone and every butterfly and bug in the world hits my car. So how often would someone have to, if they get their solar panels, let's say cleaned now, beginning of summer, and there's a lot of dust from agriculture and everything else, and we see how quickly our cars get dusty, especially if they're sitting parked. How often do we need to clean our solar panels?
I'd probably say like every 6 months. I think it's pretty good. It just depends on the area. Obviously, some areas are more dusty. They have more agriculture around. So I personally think 6 months is more than enough. A lot of people like to get them done a little sooner, but every 3 months. But personally, just what I think is worth it is every 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. Just how like Eric said, like in a solar farm, it would be different, right? Because the machines are kicking up dust. So a lot of people out there, or maybe in commercial spaces, they like to get them done quarterly, which is every 3 to 4 months. Because obviously you lose more when you're in a bigger setting. You see the loss of efficiency more than you would like in a home.
We got more to ask.
I have a few more questions on especially solar panels.
All right. So when we come back, we have more of Freddie Mojica and Eric Gallegos. ENF Services, they can be reached at 209-315-4010, or you can email them at enfservicesllc.com. And they are on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at ENF Services. You're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Stay with us.
This business tip is brought to you by Sisbro Innovation. Hi, this is Catherine Ramos, and today we're talking about enhancing local search presence. People frequently search for services near me. An optimized website, complete with local keywords and images, ensure that your business ranks within the local search engines. Integrating your website with platforms like Google My Business, making their experience seamless and encouraging physical and digital visits. Sisbro Innovation, where we help local businesses connect with local families. For more information on this tip, check out our blog at sisbroinnovation.com. That's Sisbro, SISBRO, innovation.com.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Reach out to more information about our featured guests by texting 209-222-8846, or you can always email me at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. So we have Eric Gallegos and Freddie Mojica in studio. They own ENF Services, and they can be reached at 209-315-4010, or you can email them at enfservicesllc.com. That is their website. And they can be found on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn at ENF Services. Jeanette, I know you had more questions.
Well, yeah. Do you know what? First of all, I just want to compliment both of you. I mean, you had a dream. You just went out there. You did it. You're working really hard. Your business is growing. It's successful. Here we are in the summertime. And I do believe that with the investment of solar panels, But like I was talking about my car, they put special coatings. In fact, I'm having someone coming to detail my truck tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
I just wanted it to look nice for when I'm driving up and getting it dirty to Washington for my son's wedding.
There you go.
But how do you clean them? I mean, what's the difference between me taking my hose with a little power attachment onto it? So
No, you don't want that. You
no.
don't want that at all.
Okay. So
first and
what?
foremost-
How are you different? Why am I getting you?
I got you. So first and foremost, you don't want to use pressure. You'd never use a pressure washer on panels. Never. Unless you have an attachment, which is called a J-rod tip, which gives you light, like a rinsing. Basically like if you were using the hose.
Well, how do you get it clean? I mean, dust is so oily and greasy.
It's disgusting. So there's the main way and the best way is deionized water. So what we have is a pair of filters. We use a 3-step filtration system because, water is dirty. It has chlorine, minerals, nasty stuff in it, right? Mm-hmm. Especially if you live out in the country where it's well water. You don't want that on your panels because it could leave water spots and then it could cause even more damage, and you don't want none of that. So what we do is we use deionized water. We use a water-fed pole. And sometimes, depending on how bad it is, we do use some type of chemical soap. But the soaps that we use, they're certified and they're meant to be on panels. Some people I've heard using Dawn dish soap. I don't recommend.
I was going to say this is Dawn dish soap, the go-to for everything.
For a lot of people, it is. I don't recommend it.
Deionized water, isn't that what they use at the car lots to keep the cars looking?
So no water spots, no little water spots get on your cars. That's exactly what we use. And that was the first step that we took when we did our research. We had to do that. Because a lot of people think, oh, well, I can just rinse them down with the hose. Oh, I can just, scrub them. No. You also got to make sure you're using a nylon brush and make sure that the bristles are not abrasive because you can scratch the membrane and that could also cause problems as well. So I tell people all the time, it's very important, know who you're using, make sure they're certified, licensed, insured, and also ask them about the process because a lot of people, I've had stories where we get calls back and they were like, oh, well, I looked up and they were still dirty. I just got them cleaned a week ago. And I was like,
yeah, exactly.
And, people are like, oh, well, he just went up there. He took like 15 minutes. And I was like, well, miss, more than likely, or sir, more than likely, they probably just went up there, rinsed it real quick, and that's it, and collected their $50. That's why we charge what we charge. And I tell people we're not the cheapest. I'm never going to be the cheapest, but we offer quality. And that's what you get with us every time. I'm going to ensure your panels are clean. And if you don't like it, you could always call us back and we'll come back and we'll take care of it because that's what's important to us. It's doing it the right way the first time so we don't get that call back.
And you guys go all the way from where to where? I know you went all the way to Linden. I don't know if that was because of me, but.
Of course. No, we go, so as far as north, we go all the way up to, I've been to Elk Grove.
Wow.
Even some parts of Sacramento, but it just depends.
You try to schedule like certain towns for certain areas.
Exactly.
I'm going to be in your area. You know how the food trucks do it? Do you guys go like on TikTok or Instagram go, we're going to be in Elk Grove. We have like 3 houses. We need the 4th one to pay for the gas. Do you ever do that?
No, we've never done that. That's actually a great idea. That's a good idea. Or even door knock while we're there. But as far as, so that's up north. And then the farthest we go out is, I've been out to Livermore. I wouldn't mind going out to the Bay. Like I said, the Bay, they pay better, right?
Yeah.
Higher cost of living, so we get to charge a little more. But still fair. And then down south, the farthest we'll go is Merced. And then we've gone up to Sonora. I've gone up to Twain Harte. Basically, we go all around from the Central Valley to the Bay to the coast. No, not really the coast. I mean, more up to the mountains.
Now, of course, you said that you were, licensed, insured, and certified. Yeah. What certifications and how did you get them?
So we are BBB accredited, which is, we applied and they had to check and they had to make sure that we are a legitimate business. And then also we are OSHA certified, which is a class that I took. It was 30 hours and it's just basically learning about safety, what not to do on roofs, how to anchor any chemicals that you deal with, basically anything that has to do with, OSHA. We got certified for that as well. So we know how to harness, how to, lock out and tag out, all that good stuff. Know that from the ladder, the higher you go up, 3 feet apart.
When do you need to use chemicals? Because if you know anything about me, I mean, all organic. I grow food wherever I can find a piece of dirt around my house. And so any of that water, if you do use chemicals, I mean, can it get into like the dirt? Is it harmful?
So most of the time, by chemical, I mean like certain types of soaps. Then no, they're not really, they're not meant to harm. The only time we do is when we use SH. which is SH, which is it's just really strong bleach. But even then, we dilute it. We have SH neutralizer that we use. And on panels, most of the time, it's just really strong soap that, like I said, is meant for the panels.
All right. So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. We have Freddie Mojica and Eric Gallegos in the studio. They own E&F Services. They can be reached at 209-315-4010, or you can email them at enfservicesllc.com. That is your website
As well, yes.
All right. And then you guys are on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right. And where are we going from here? I mean, you're growing your business. How far ahead are you booked?
So as of right now, we're booked out. Usually we get booked out about a week or two. We like to keep it like that in case people hit us up, and we throw jobs in there. We like to be, how do I call it? We don't like to book too far out ahead because we get calls where people are like, oh, can you do it today? Do it today. And we don't like to leave money on the table. You get what I'm saying?
I know, but you can get burned out.
It does, definitely.
And that's the whole thing. It takes a very long time to build a reputation, everything else.
Definitely.
And that's one thing I've learned being self-employed. When people are happy and you do a great job and everything else, they're going like, oh yeah, that's what they're supposed to do. I'm happy. Okay. But when you do something and mess up or you're late or anything, they're going to tell everyone. They're going to tell the teller at the bank. They're going to tell the girl at the store. I mean, people today, especially social media, everything else. So who handles the social? Is that you, Eric? Do you stay on top of it?
I help, but no, I'm really focused on more of the business development, business growth, contractual management, just making sure we're operating like by the book, like how you're supposed to. So I try to focus on that. I mean, school takes a big portion of my time, especially I'm full time. So during the school year, I'm studying from the morning until the night, so I'm kind of busy with that. But on the weekends, I definitely try to help with what I can do.
Social media takes a lot of time. Let's put it that way. I mean, and it gets to the point where a lot of businesses hire someone, or they find their little sister, or they find a friend and can you just do this? Because it's something I always seem to have to keep up with.
Definitely.
And so when do you do that?
So that usually we try to hash out at least a couple reels, a couple posts a week. Definitely we're more on the stories, like, how Instagram stories, stuff like that. We're definitely heavy in the stories. But as far as social media, we try to stay on top of it. But like you said, it just sometimes, you get home, it's a little late. The peak hours have passed. You won't get as much engagement. So it does discourage you a little, but I feel like you still have to post, right? You still have to get something. At least that's what I always try to do. I try to at least post something, whether it be on the stories, reels, or just the post itself.
And that's the whole thing too, You can do advertising, networking, but people remember, they see things, they see the stories. And we're all, when we're going into business, it's because we want to make money, be successful, not work for 100%. That paycheck. But you also provide a service. I mean, tell me one of those good stories. How much did their electricity, go, down, or, be able to having clean solar panels? Have you heard back from your customers going like, wow?
Oh yeah, definitely. One of the first customers we actually did out in Oakdale, we want to give a big shout out to them. They had on their how do you call it? The injection, not the injection box, but the
meter?
Their breaker.
Oh, the breaker.
Remember the one that we did where it had, we started, it was like at 26 point something kilowatts, and then it gained up to like around 30.
So that's money.
Yeah.
I mean, over the course of like a year, 6 months, I think it's like 15 to 20% better efficiency. So,
and then another one we had recently in off Crow's Landing. Shout out Noe. I want to give a big shout out to a good customer of ours, Noe. He said the same thing. He's like, bro, I noticed it right away on my app. He's like, I checked it right when you told me you got done, right before you started, and then right after you got done, and I noticed an increase for sure. My bill dropped. I think he said it was like around $30, $40.
Yeah, and see, we like to make money, but what makes whatever we do in business worth it is either being able to get back to our community or really making people happy. Oh, and so that's the whole thing. I was happy when I didn't have to pull up and see weeds growing out of my, gutters. Yeah. So, you're saving people money. And a lot of people, like you said, your parents have solar panels. Where do they go? How can they have it done safely? So, I mean, it's providing a service that's going to save people money And I
We
think
do the hard work for you.
and it makes you feel good too.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's the most, right? When you're in business, I think that's the best feeling.
Yes.
Don't get me wrong.
Making
paid,
a difference.
Yes,
Yeah.
getting paid is great. Getting that cash in hand, of course. But when they come and they tell you, Freddie, oh my God, thank you so much. It was great. Or, a business owner who was like, oh, I needed my windows cleaned. Thank you so much. That's what we do it. That's why you do it. And I guess that's the why, right?
Yes.
That's why it should be the why. Of course, the money, but always to help.
Yeah. Well, hey, thank you guys for coming in today. We really appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, love local businesses, young people, entrepreneurs, and having that mindset of being able to make a difference in people's lives.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
If you need to get a hold of Freddie Mojica or Eric Gallegos, give them a call at 209-315-4010, or you can email them at enfservicesllc.com. You can find them on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and LinkedIn at ENF Services. And again, thank you guys for coming on today.
Thanks for having us.
Yep,
All
thanks for
right.
having us. We're ENF. Not only do we save you money, but we do the hard work for you.
Oh, yes.
All right, so you're listening to Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Marisol Fernandez, your certified nutrition coach and co-owner of Rooted Movement. Today, let's talk about how to balance your plate. Fill half of your plate with colorful veggies, a quarter with lean protein, and a quarter with whole grains. This simple formula keeps meals balanced and satisfying. At Rooted Movement, we combine practical nutrition advice with movement to help you reach your health and fitness goals. We're located in the heart of downtown Modesto. So visit us today at rootedmovementmodesto.com or follow us on Instagram and Facebook to start your journey today.
Welcome back to the Small Business Voice with Justin Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. Reach out to us for more information about our featured guests by texting 209-222-8846, or you can always email me at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. The Community Corner is sponsored by Lightspeed Graphics, a creative media agency specializing in video and animation. To get in touch with owner Kurt Gonzalez, simply text him at 209-617-2606, or you can visit his website at lightspeedgraphics.com. So before we get into community events, so I wanted to ask you, if you have solar panels, it's probably something you'd want to go ahead and get taken care of. I think, like I said, there's like a lot of misnomers out there about how to clean them.
Dawn.
Yeah, exactly. But, I overheard Freddie saying, I think it's like $10 a panel. So,
That's worth it. I mean, especially if you get generate more electricity. And this is going to be, it's hot already. It's going to be a super, super hot summer. And if you're, my electrical bill goes up so much. I don't have solar panels. I have the solar panels to heat my swimming pool. Mm-hmm. But I know that running, the AC and being Swedish, I don't handle heat very well.
Yeah.
So, and being a redhead, right?
Mm-hmm.
But, before the summer comes and everything else, I would say get everything running properly. Get your solar panels cleaned and that's the whole thing. Next week, we're actually having someone on that put the air conditioning unit in my house.
Yeah.
And oh gosh, what a difference that makes. Otherwise, you can't get anything done around the house. It's just unbearable, especially here in the valley. It gets too hot.
It does. It's the valley is very hot.
Yeah,
So,
and we were also off the mics. We were talking to Jim, and he and his wife, they're trying to do this on their own with a hose and everything else. Sometimes you have to weigh out whether it's better to do it yourself or, this is something that for the cost, have a professional do it. Have it done correctly and have it done, every 6 months, just twice a year?
Yeah.
Definitely worth it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Especially if it's going to make your house a lot more comfortable. Yeah, and there's a lot of things you want to do to make your house look more attractive too. Like I said, when he pressure washed my driveway, I mean, it was night and day.
So it didn't even look dirty, or
no, it looked brand new. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would swear it was brand new. But I know all the cracks in my driveway. So, but it just. Do you know when he did my gutters and got those weeds out of the gutters? He also, I guess, had. I don't know if he used a drone or what, but I saw
like almost like the aerial over those gutters, and they were so clean. And I know that they had a lot of dirt in them and everything else. To just know that, a house is very expensive.
Yeah.
And to have everything function properly.
Exactly.
And especially if you made the investment in solar panels and you notice, like a lot of people are going like, yeah, they work great to begin with, and now I'm getting less and less electricity. Might just be that you need to have them clean professionally. Yeah.
Yeah, because Freddie had stories about how they could tell like immediately from, and I think that's a good idea. Check it, check the energy usage before you get started or before they get started. And when they get done, then check it. And it went
now
up.
that is a great testimonial, that the homeowner, and see, that's homeowners too. Let's see if this makes a difference, right?
Yeah.
And because he maybe had doubts or wanted to see if it was really worth the money. I mean, you take that added electricity and then you multiply it by every single day, every single month. I mean, the service practically pays for itself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they were fun guests to have on, and then they're going to.
I love also that they're in their 20s, and all of a sudden, like they said 2 years ago, so that would have made, Freddie's 26, going to be 27. So,
no, he's 27, and then Eric's 28. Yeah,
so 25 years old.
Yeah,
they're saying let's start a business.
Yeah, it
gives hope for all of you out there, and just do it.
Yeah, exactly. So next week we have Enrique Calderon of Evolution Heat and Air coming on. He services my AC and my units too. He comes out twice a year.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? He's coming out. He's coming out to my house tomorrow. And, the company's really good. They call, they say they're going to come there. His staff's really good. And he has grown a lot. He's been on the show before.
Yeah.
And he talked about how he got started. And see, that's so nice. We had these young guys and now they're growing. They've had to hire somebody. And it wants to get to that point where now you are employing a lot more people in the local area. Your business grows. And so it's going to be a nice shift also from these young guys starting. And then next week, someone who has already gotten established. And it's so hot here in the studio too.
Yeah.
We can't run the AC during the show. And I'm telling you, I'm melting.
So you're listening to Small Business Voice with Just Duncan and Jeanette Forni on Power Talk 1360 KFIV and the iHeartRadio app. There's a lot of things I'd like to talk to Enrique about because he also has dust busters also.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking before he comes out tomorrow, I know where my filters are. I think they're in my office, in the closet, downstairs. And so tonight I'm going to get my son to just put clean ones in there because I know he's going to call me out on it.
Yeah. So I think you're supposed to change them out every 3 months, right?
Do you know what? I'm so bad at it. And when I take them out, they're horrible. And I know that the efficiency is going to be way down on those. But he also, I want to thank him next week. My sister was without heat and air conditioning. So first, last summer, the AC went out for my sister, but fall was coming. So I'm like, can we just wait? Because I'm going, it's going to be a nice, cool fall. Yeah. Then right after Christmas, she calls me and goes, the heat doesn't work. And so I finally I called Enrique and that's the whole thing. Their service is fabulous. And he squeezed her in. They went in, they put a whole new unit, both heat and air conditioning, and talk about someone being happy. Remember how we were talking about making a difference in the community by, it's not just making the money, but making a difference in people's lives. And my sister, she thanks me just about every single day. I get a text going, thank you again, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's always good to be comfortable, especially in your own home.
I was without air conditioning for 20 years. We built our house. 5 years later, the AC went out.
Oh, wow.
I know. And with 7 kids, there wasn't any money. And I mean, we're talking suffering through it. But you can only spend so much time in a swimming pool.
Yeah, I know. But
that's what I used to do.
The pool does help. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. So AC and, solar panels, all of these things. Think about what you need for summer. It's going to be a super, super hot one. And it's better to get it done now than everyone that's going to be calling in the middle of summer when their AC goes out. That's why I called Enrique and I said, you know what? I want to make sure everything is working correctly because it's been just about a year since they installed. And I was actually at his office for something else. And they had these incredible thermostats. I mean, they look like new age space things. So I have to ask him about that because I looked at it and I'm going, I want one of those. And so he reminded me that maybe it's time to check your system and everything else. So I am just thrilled. So
okay, nice. It's kind of like homeowners, or not really homeowners, but like basically maintaining your house. Like we went from Celeste sponsoring last month, and then this month it's been more about still about kind of taking care of your house. So
well, yeah. And the thing is, my kids were going, "Oh, Mom, that's a lot of money out of your savings for Auntie Anne Marie." And I'm going, like, eventually we might have to sell that house. So what? Do we invest in a brand new AC unit and everything at that time while my sister suffers, or do we do it now? It's an investment in the house.
Exactly.
You can't sell a house in the valley without AC or heat. It won't pass an inspection. So
if you're a business owner that would like to have your voice heard, feel free to reach out to me at 209-222-8846 or drop me an email at info@smallbusinessvoicemedia.com. Let's connect and grow together. Thank you for tuning in each week. We look forward to having you back next week. A heartfelt shout out to our dedicated producer, Mike Murray, and the general manager at KCP, Jim Costello, for their invaluable contributions to our show. We also appreciate the hard work of our intern, Tiffany Alex, and Kurt Gonzalez from Lightspeed Graphics, Video, and Animation for capturing and inspiring our guests and their stories. If you're seeking assistance with digital marketing, don't hesitate to reach out to Kurt at 209-617-2606 or via email at kurt@lightspeedgraphics.com. Thank you, Jeanette, for joining me today and for your support of the Small Business Voice. And remember to join every Saturday at 11 a.m. as we dive into the minds of local small business owners and even more insightful discussions.
yes, get educated.
And a special thanks to our guests, Freddie Mojica and Eric Gallegos of ENF Services, for sharing their expertise with us. Now, let's take care of business.